If you're not focused on the right narratives in crypto, you might be making a huge mistake. Hear me out. The market has been buzzing, but if you look past the noise, there's one sector quietly building momentum that could completely change the game this cycle. It's attracting serious institutional attention, it's got multi-billion-dollar growth already underway, and most retail investors still have no idea how big it's about to get. The sector I'm talking about is real-world asset tokenization. While the average trader is chasing short-term pumps, some of the smartest money in the world is positioning for a wave that could redefine the way capital moves on-chain. Sounds boring to you, right? Well, I'll translate it to troglodyte language, which may be easier for you to understand. Big money make candle go green. Okay, in all seriousness, this is not a video you want to skip. I'll break down why RWA is positioning to be one of the top narratives for this crypto cycle, share some metrics proving the trend is more than just hype, and go over some projects I think are worth watching right now. And we have to start by looking at what's been going on in the markets. We've just had a string of major headlines for the space and for crypto overall. Bank of America recently reported that their institutional clients are showing unprecedented interest in tokenizing real-world assets. This isn't just an experiment anymore. Big banks are on board and they're actually looking at ways to bring bonds, equities, and even real estate onto the blockchain. You should realize we're talking about potential trillions of dollars here. Not just that, but reports over the last month or so show that JP Morgan is developing a new service to tokenize carbon credits. Kraken unveiled a platform allowing retail investors to buy tokenized versions of major US equities, and Robinhood announced it was rolling out tokenized stocks to a test group of users. It's all happening right in front of us, and yet somehow retail hasn't caught on. But it doesn't stop with the banks and exchanges. Even educational institutions like Harvard joined the conversation in an unexpected way, revealing a $116 million investment into tokenized assets. When one of the largest, most influential university endowments in the world starts making moves like this, you can bet other major funds are paying attention. Plus, big moves are also happening in the Trump crypto camp, and this one could shake up the PayFi and DeFi sectors, which are pretty closely tied to RWA. The Trump family's World Liberty Financial just announced a massive partnership with Alt5 Sigma Corp, a fintech company that's been building blockchain infrastructure for years. And it looks like these guys truly are Sigmas. Alt5 specializes in digital asset trading, payment processing, and custody, and they're openly positioning themselves to compete with Visa and MasterCard to handle crypto payments. Now, here's where it gets big. Alt5 just dropped news of a $1.5 billion capital raise to buy WLFi token and make it their primary treasury asset. Just like what I talked about with SharpLink Gaming and Ethereum. In total, they'll be acquiring around 7.5% of the total WLFi token supply for a multi-crypto treasury basket. So the trend only gets stronger. Companies and institutions are mixing crypto into their infrastructure at an insane rate, which in turn is bullish for the RWA sector. These moves might be why the RWA sector has been climbing, because smart traders are tapped into the news and make moves right away. But in order for you to keep up, you need the right trading setup. One of the exchanges I personally trust and use is WEEX. It's fast, easy to use, and has some of the lowest fees in the game. Plus, if you use the link in the description, you'll get 30% off trading fees and the chance to earn up to 30,000 USDT in bonuses. Those savings add up quickly, especially if you're active during major market moves. You can check it out through the link down below. Now, let's back this RWA narrative up with some key metrics. Now, one of the clearest signals of the RWA sector health is tokenized treasury growth. This is basically the total value of US treasuries or other government bonds that have been converted into digital tokens and put on a blockchain. This metric directly measures adoption, showing that more institutions and investors are actively moving real-world assets on-chain. Think about it like this. We know that treasuries are usually seen as one of the safest and most liquid assets in TradFi, so if big players are comfortable holding them in tokenized form, it shows serious trust in blockchain infrastructure and regulations. My favorite way to check these RWA metrics is on the rwa.xyz dashboard. This website has everything for this sector, but to start, here's the tokenized treasury chart. If you compare where we were exactly 1 year ago, tokenized treasuries were worth just under $2 billion. And as of now, it's sitting over $6 billion. That means we've more than tripled in the span of just a year. And in terms of market share, BlackRock's BUIDL is leading the way, with Ondo Finance's OUSG coming second. As for the overall RWA sector's value, the growth is even crazier. The total RWA market's value went from around $12 billion a year ago to over $25 billion today. So now we can see that the sector isn't being backed by just hype, but liquidity too. And while doing all this research, a few projects easily stood out to me. And I'm going to be keeping my eye on them as the sector continues to grow. First up is Zebek. I know a lot of you have also been commenting for me to cover this project, so this is the perfect timing. It's an RWA protocol focused on handling payments. That includes anything from company payrolls to treasury payments. But their main focus is on payrolls. They state the US payroll industry processes over $11 trillion in annual volume, which they want to bring on chain. On top of that, they also offer their own crypto cards through a MasterCard partnership. Looking at the charts, Zebek peaked at a high of over $500 million in market cap around May of this year. After that, the coin corrected down to the 200 millions and flipped to an uptrend from there, forming a rounded bottom. I'm definitely keeping an eye on this chart to see if the uptrend can continue as the RWA sector grows. As of now, it looks like the team knows what they're doing. Now, you can't talk about RWA without covering Ondo. Ondo Finance is easily one of the biggest names in the tokenized asset game right now. They have a solid list of RWA products, and each one is fully compliant and goes through regular security audits. And the partnership they've pulled already tells you everything you need to know. We're talking about BlackRock, Wellington Management, Trump's World LibertyFi, MasterCard, and more. But the thing I'm most excited for is their upcoming Ondo Global Markets, which they've been teasing on Twitter recently as well. This feature would let crypto users buy and trade real-world stocks straight from the blockchain. Imagine tracking and buying Apple right through Ondo and getting a token that represents your ownership, which you can then just trade just like any other crypto. It basically brings the stock market into the crypto world, and it makes the whole process way more seamless. Looking at the charts, Ondo is a monster in the RWA space with a market cap around $3 billion as of recording. But they actually hit a peak market cap of just under $5 billion around the end of last year. Since then, we've seen a pretty big correction down to the $2 billion range, followed by the start of another uptrend around the start of July of this year. So I'm excited to see what other features Ondo can bring to the table in the future, but the takeaway here is pretty straightforward. If you said that the RWA sector was in your top 3 narrative picks along with DeFi and AI, I don't think anybody could tell you it's a bad take. These projects are clearly focused on real-world demand, whether it's streamlining payrolls or bringing TradFi products on-chain. Narratives come and go in crypto, but when you see adoption, partnerships, and access to capital reach the level of these projects, it's a no-brainer. But maybe you disagree with me. Are there other RWA projects that you're betting will perform better? Or do you think the sector isn't as good as the hype makes it out to be? Let me know in the comments down below. I read every single comment. And that's it for today. Remember, just because I'm talking about a project doesn't mean you should blindly invest in it. None of this is financial advice. Always do your own research and understand the risk before making any investment decisions. If you're interested in the projects I'm watching closely, come and join me in the FireHustle VIP Discord. The link is in the description below. And if you want more videos like this, then hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.